Happy Christmas Eve. It is the night before Christmas, and thus, my wife and I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is my beautiful wife, Sam.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for joining me on this review of a holiday classic. But what type of holiday classic is it? Is it a Christmas movie? Is it a Halloween movie? It's been debated for years. I'm curious to know what your thoughts on this are, because I actually don't know what you're going to say.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's basically about Jack learning what Christmas kind of is, or him attempting to learn what Christmas really is. It's less about like the characters and their celebration of Halloween. It's all about them trying to learn how to have a Christmas and what the warm feelings are and the joy and the peace and the goodwill, and you get the point.
I'll say it's more Christmas than it is Halloween. Yeah. Christmas is in the title of the movie. There's definitely a Christmas message, as you said. Mm-hmm. I think one of the reasons this movie is so popular, beyond the incredible animation and the great music, is that it does kind of fit into the best of both worlds. Like, mm-hmm. someone who loves Halloween can watch it and for all the creepy imagery, like you and I. But someone who also loves Christmas can watch it for the warm-hearted message and mm-hmm. for the meaning of Christmas and all that stuff. So it kind of is that rare movie that, for me, is both. It's hard to find a movie like that can be watched at different times of the mm-hmm. year for two different holidays. Like you said, it's definitely more towards like the Christmas cheer vibe, because what mm-hmm. this movie is basically about is Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, who's like the master of Halloween, and he discovers what Christmas is, and he for some reason wants to recreate it, but he doesn't really understand how to recreate mm-hmm. it. He's just thinking of just the basic physical stuff. Well, we have to have presents, we have to have a guy with a beard and reindeer. He doesn't recognize like the true meaning yet. He thinks that if he just has all the little things in place, mm-hmm. that he'll have a Christmas and that people will appreciate it.
So yes, it is definitely more towards them kind of tearing apart the ideology of Christmas presents, the reindeer, the Santa Claus, and that honestly, when it comes down to it, you don't really need those things to have a warm holiday experience, because let's be real, not everybody has the ability to have the presents and the great family or everything like that. So it's a little bit more of a darker, you don't always have the perfect scenario to have a holiday.
That's one of the things I noticed rewatching it tonight, was that it is one of the most dour and depressing and like dark black movies that is also somehow cheerful. Yeah. It's extremely sad in a lot of ways. You have Sally, who is constantly trying to poison her creator, which is kind of hilarious for a family movie. Her life is awful. She can jump out of windows and break every bone in her body and, well, stuffing in her body or whatever it is, and then leaves and then sew herself back together. There's a lot of darkness in this film, which I love. One of the things I love about it. Tim Burton produced the movie. He's mm-hmm. often credited as the director. He's not.
Yeah.
The director is Henry Selick, or Selick. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He also made James and the Giant Peach mm-hmm. and Coraline, which is my favorite of his films. Mm-hmm. And so it has that Tim Burton flair. Danny Elfman did so much of the music, and he wrote the songs. He even plays the singing voice of Jack Skellington, whereas Chris Sarandon plays the acting parts mm-hmm. with the dialogue. And so it feels like a movie that Tim Burton would make, but it has the flair of Henry Selick's other productions like James and the Giant Peach and Coraline. He has this great darkness to his films that somehow maintain the ability to be family films, but have so many adult themes.
Yeah, because Tim Burton's straight productions, like where he's the director, are a lot darker than the those other ones are. They're a little less family friendly in regards. They still have a good meaning to them for Tim Burton, but some of them, oh man, they're dark. They're very dark. So for me, this film, my holidays were not always like ideal, I guess. I related to this film more because I was not in the situation where I had those great childhood memories of holidays and things like that. So for me, this slightly dark and twisted, taking apart the commercialism of the holiday and taking that and stripping it kind of made me feel a little bit better about my situation. So it was nice.
Hey. I just felt so bad for you all of a sudden.
It's okay. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I was definitely in a better scenario than a lot of people are at this time of year.
Definitely.
So, I mean, for a lot of people, they see parallels of Jack, obviously depression, serious case of depression there. Sally being very concerned for his depression, and nobody else kind of really noticing just how bad Jack is.
Mm-hmm. They both are longing for a different type of life. Jack's life, he's lauded, he's respected, everyone likes him, but he's not. He's just bored. He's been doing the same thing over and over again, and so he feels like he'd like to do something different. And like you said, it's making him depressed. Sally, obviously, as we already said, is trying to kill her creator, and so she obviously isn't too happy either. So it has a lot of adult themes.
Yeah, it has, and I definitely didn't notice them until I got older, the adult themes. So that's definitely a play on like appealing towards adults more than little kids being their favorite films. But me, the sick, twisted child that I was like, ooh, there's a werewolf, there's a vampire. I like all the creepy, gory stuff. I was not the typical child in that respect. I'm like, the scarier the better, please. I'm gonna go watch horror films because I'm like an 8-year-old child watching the Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, same with me.
I was like, I loved it.
That's one of the reasons why movies like this appeal to me so much, is because, in fact, all my favorite Christmas, per se, movies are usually the ones that aren't your stereotypical ones like Die Hard or any of Shane Black's films or this. I do love the Home Alone movies, which are more normal Christmas movies. But even those, it's not like Christmas with the Cranks or, National Lampoon's Vacation. It's like this movie where this kid basically tortures and maims these burglars.
Oh, yeah.
So I love weird, dark, twisted holiday shit.
Yeah, it's not a Christmas story.
Today we've seen a lot of stop motion films, but when this came out, it was pretty impactful. There were obviously other stop motion animated things in the past. A lot of older films use stop motion quite a bit to achieve like various monsters and incorporate them into live action. But the scale of this production and the camera movements and the incorporated visual effects like Zero the dog floating around or the big yellow moon in the background, like these things are so gorgeous that even today, watching it all these years later, knowing what you can do on a computer, I still look at this movie and am blown away by just the construction of the scenes, by all of the effects that have been incorporated to make everything move fluid. And there's also this really charming imperfection to the animation that just makes it so gorgeous, because you can sometimes see the clay shift and mold a little bit, and you can tell, okay, well, maybe that was a little bit of a mistake in that frame, but there's something even about that makes it even better.
Yeah, it's crazy how much detail they paid to this whole thing. Like little things you would never really think about, like the individual snowflakes and the fluffy snow and the egg-shaped piece that he grabbed when he reaches down into the snow, and it's just like this perfect round dome of snow, and it's like they paid a lot of attention, and it's something that I don't think studios do that much anymore, which is a shame, because if anything, the technology's gotten better for them to be able to pay more attention to things like that. So there was a new movie I saw not that long, like I don't remember when I saw it exactly, but it's not that old, called Strange Magic, and I can't say that I was all that impressed with the CGI or the computer animation in this. And it was just like, when you take something that's new and compared to that old, and the old is still outclassing these new productions, you just have to stop and wonder, how much are they really paying attention anymore to things? Are they just letting the computer kind of do all the work and not realizing you still have to go in and add things to make it look imperfect, because too perfect takes away the edge of the reality of this.
Definitely. And not to crap all over CG movies, because a lot of them are really beautiful, but Strange Magic is a great example, because I didn't review that film, but the animation itself was just very bland and basic and dull. And when you look at a film like Nightmare Before Christmas, about 100 people work in this movie for 3 years, just moving these characters meticulously. And that's not even talking about the camera movements. So it's pretty impressive. There's just something so beautiful about the way this film looks. The style really leaps off the screen. And that's one of my favorite things about it, is just the music and the look and the feel of the picture. I have a few issues with the movie, nothing too huge. Locke, Shock, and Barrel, those three guys have their own little song. I don't care about this scene. It's probably my least favorite song in the movie.
I can see that.
It's like 76 minutes, and so it can feel a little rushed. Sometimes characters go through really insane arcs in the middle of a song, and sometimes you're like, okay, I'm catching up with the storytelling here. But I mean, that's these are really inconsequential things. I think this is a gorgeous movie, and one that's very unique in that it somehow combines two holidays.
Yeah.
And creates this really entertaining film with great music. And something else I really respect is that Tim Burton has basically denied studios from making any sequels. I did a little reading on the film, and apparently in like 2001, Disney wanted to make a sequel, and they wanted to do it CG, fully computer. And Burton said no, he didn't think that was a good idea. A lot of people have come to him saying, well, you could do other holidays. There's the area in the forest with Thanksgiving and Easter, and you can have a whole Nightmare Before Christmas or Nightmare Before Thanksgiving universe of movies, and each time he has denied them the rights to make this sequel because he's very protective of the film, which I think is really neat.
Yeah.
Just because this one is so great, you don't have to make more.
And I really respect him for doing that, even though personally I would love to see more.
Yeah.
Maybe even if it was something like a 5-minute short that took place in the front of another film, I would love to see just even something like that, just a little clip. But I mean, I have to respect him for not doing it because it's like, why bother?
Mm-hmm.
Just
don't mess with greatness.
Right. I think studios are having this mass thing that they're doing is they're taking really great films, trying to remake them or add sequels to them, and just it kind of ruins some of the originality of a piece when you just start tacking on more things to it instead of you just leaving it alone the way it was.
Which is why I'm glad that they've never done that with this movie.
Yeah.
It's always been its own thing.
Not that I don't want them to.
It'd be nice, but it'd be scary.
Yeah. So something that's not always talked about with this film is actually the romance in this between Jack and Sally. Everybody always focuses on more of the other stuff, but the romance between Jack and Sally is very sweet. It's very almost innocent in regards to Jack not really paying attention to Sally and realizing what he has in front of him until the end of the film. And it's very emotional because it's like he's grown more through this experience to be able to now recognize what he has, which is Sally.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for Sally for the majority of this movie because she's the voice of reason. Mm-hmm. She's the only character that's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe that's a bad idea. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, well, just, whatever, Sally. Mm-hmm. And she's kind of the unsung hero of the whole movie. Mm-hmm. She's like what I call the audience character. She's the one that we look at and go, yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. She's right. She's like the mouthpiece for us. Yeah. When you see Jack trying to sabotage Christmas and have it his way, and I'm going to go kidnap Santa and have everyone do what I want to do for Christmas. And she's like, maybe not.
I don't know if he was so much as trying to sabotage it as he was trying to take it over.
Yeah, I guess sabotage isn't really the right word. He's just trying to recreate it for himself in the wrong way.
Yeah, because he didn't have joy in his own holiday anymore. And like we said, he's depressed and he's kind of now revitalized himself through this action. So, I mean, obviously Santa forgave him at the end of the film. Yeah. So it kind of cleared up Jack's depression, I guess, through this action of just trying something new and getting himself out there and falling in love. And
so the message to everyone out there is try something new and but don't steal holidays. That's bad.
Just don't steal?
Yes, don't steal. Sometimes you can poison people if you don't like them. If they're being mean to you, you can put stuff in their soup. And yeah, that's probably the best way to handle that.
It's totally the message I was going for.
Yeah.
Just don't actually poison people.
No, it's fine.
No, don't encourage them. Don't encourage
They know not to poison people.
You never know.
There's
true. There's some weird people out there anymore.
Yeah, don't poison people. It's bad.
Yeah.
Also, go to school and yeah.
Like you said, the score in this is amazing.
Oh,
the
singing, music's so good.
All of the songs, and they flow so well, and it's just.
My favorite is when he first sees all the Christmas stuff. He's, what's this? What's this? And he's dancing around. Yeah. That's probably my favorite one.
I have to say, it's like I'm getting so sick of like pop songs being turned into music scores in every kid's film.
Yeah.
Trolls does it. What was that other film?
Every animated movie does.
Basically every animated film lately has had ripping just pop songs to just throw into it, and you're just like,
They all have some kind of electronic
Okay.
dance song where they all dance at the end for the last 2 minutes of the movie.
Emoji movie, Trolls.
They all do
We
it.
can just the list goes on, and just I'm so sick of it, and I love children's films. They're my favorite type of film because I like to watch films that make me happy and not depressed and have to fun. I don't like doing the emotional roller coasters. I just want to sit down and just be happy when I watch a film because
It's funny
I
that
want
this
to
film
relax.
makes you happy.
Yeah, it does.
This incredibly depressing, sad movie.
Like I said, I was a dark and twisted
Yeah.
child who wore a lot of black.
Me too.
And
Me too.
I happen to had a fascination with the creepy stuff and
The macabre.
yes. I was definitely very much an Edgar Allan Poe person. I was
Yes.
like, I had the big book. I still have the big book and read them all. I'm just like, yes, stark to heart.
This film is sophisticated. It doesn't pander. It doesn't look down on kids. It doesn't assume that kids don't understand deeper themes.
Yeah.
And it has deeper themes in there. And if you're young and you see it and it went over your head, when you're older, you can be like, oh, okay. Well, so I knew I liked good movies when I was a kid. Damn it.
I can't imagine what some of the kids in 10 years that are watching their current new movies are going to say in 10 years about what they watched as kids.
Man, when I was 5, I just loved watching the Emoji Movie so much. Oh my God. He's 30 and he's like, oh.
I still watch Beauty and the Beast. I still watch The Little Mermaid. I still watch The Lion King. I still watch Mulan. And I still love them because they're still great films. And it's just, I still can't bring myself to think like, oh my God, what are kids going to say when they remember Trolls or Minions or any of those characters that are super annoying to us
You're
adults?
honestly giving me like war flashbacks about sitting through those films. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Beautiful film.
By the way, nice tree that my wife made.
Yes,
Don't you think?
yes.
She made this.
Oh, yeah.
She made this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It goes next to our Halloween city that I have up literally year-round in our house because I do have a Halloween village that we just leave up all year round.
Yes, creepy shit everywhere, and yes.
Yeah.
And remember, children, poison people you don't like, because that's always the best way to deal with things. And if you want to escape your house, you can always jump out of your window and then get crushed. All of your body parts will fly off, but you can attach them later.
Don't do that, please. We don't need lawsuits from you saying this to kids and them doing this.
They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it.
You gotta remember that Slender Man case.
That's true.
Anyway,
let's change it up. What would you give The Nightmare Before
A+.
Christmas? A+?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, I will give The Nightmare Before Christmas an A.
Oh, by the way, you have to make a pact with me.
A pact.
Pact, yes.
A pact.
Yes. When we do have kids, there's no way in hell we're letting them watch any of those annoying movies. You have to pre-screen them so that I don't even have to bother hearing them in our house.
That's not a pact that has to be made, because I'm never sitting through the Emoji Movie or Minions or any of that shit again. If my child comes to me and says, Daddy, I want to watch Minions, I'll say, you're not my child. Clearly something happened that went wrong, and it's time for you to jump out of a window.
I don't mind the Despicable Me movies. It's just that a darn Minions movie and Trolls or Emoji Movie or anything along those lines. I can't handle that. I don't want them to get addicted to it. I don't need that in my life. That would give me an aneurysm.
We'll agree.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Guys,
Yes.
Thank you very much, as always, for watching. Thank you to my lovely wife for joining me in this video. And as always, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.
Happy holidays, everybody. Bye.